So before I get started today with my recap, I'm going to address the two elephants in the room just so you can understand where I'm coming from as it pertains to my feelings for this show. There was a lot of emphasis this week placed on how important training is for a Jedi. A lot of people are taking that as a shot at Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams for how they handled the character of Rey. Me, I just take it as further validation of the incompetence that is Disney. Since the sequel trilogy has ended, it seems like they're constantly now trying to retroactively undo everything that they fucked up. They even go so far in this episode to retroactively try to do some world building, and they mention Thrawn. But at this point, that seems kind of cheap, considering all the effort Disney went through to try to decanonize the EU when they gained control. Now they're trying to slowly bring those characters back into the fold. For what reason? Some will see it as them trying to right some wrongs. I see it as Disney trying to appeal to those hardcore fans that they once deemed unimportant. Fuck you! It's most likely too little too late for most of them, but it won't stop Disney from trying. As far as this episode goes, let's get into the full recap now. It's still hard for me to believe that Mando only recently found out about Jedi. You figure someone as dedicated to the Mandalorian ways would know its history and would know all of its enemies, both new and old. And you're telling me at no point during his life did he ever hear stories about Jedi? I just find that a little hard to believe. The episode opens with the introduction of Ahsoka, and she's hacking through these guys on this dark, foggy planet. Now this planet is ruled by the Magistrate, and she's basically a tyrant, and she's mistreating the people that live in this small town. Ahsoka is essentially trying to overthrow her, while also trying to get information out of her about her master. Mando and the child arrive on the planet and they venture into town, and they basically are trying to get information about Ahsoka's whereabouts. Of course, they don't get much in the way of cooperation because everyone in the town is so scared of the tyrant that rules over them. Mando is eventually invited to meet the Magistrate, and of course, she has a proposition for him. Once again, stop me if you've heard this before. Her proposition is that Mando kill a Jedi that is giving her some problems. Awfully convenient, as that is the person that he is in search of himself. She offers him a weapon as payment, and Mando presumably accepts, even though he doesn't technically agree to kill the Jedi. So as Mando searches for Ahsoka, she actually finds him first and attacks him. Eventually, he's able to convince her to stop attacking him, and once she sees the child, she knows that this is someone that she needs to listen to. So Ahsoka speaks to the child, and she learns that his name is Grogu. He was raised at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant and trained to be a Jedi for many years. When the Empire rose to power and overthrew the Jedi in Revenge of the Sith, he was removed from the temple by an unknown person and essentially put into hiding. So a few things of note here: the character we all know as Baby Yoda now has some backstory, and we understand how he came to be on his own. Also, this opens up questions about who exactly removed him from the temple and put him into hiding. Could it have been Obi-Wan? Could it have been Yoda? Or did another Jedi survive the attack, remove Baby Yoda from the temple, and then go into hiding him or herself? This is where Ahsoka basically teaches Mando about what the Force actually is, because apparently he has no idea. This is where Ahsoka tests Grogu's abilities, but he has a bit of performance anxiety because he's so used to hiding and he doesn't really trust anyone other than Mando. Because of Mando's connection with Grogu and his obsession with the little knob that he keeps taking, he's able to use that connection, and the child actually does use his powers. This leads to Ahsoka having concerns about training him because that connection to Mando leads to fear, which leads to conflict in him, and that could lead to the dark side. So essentially, she refuses to train him. I will say this: Yoda did continue to train Luke, even though Luke had those same attachments to people and he was experiencing conflict. Perhaps Yoda was just more confident in Luke that he could overcome those feelings. I'm not really arguing Ahsoka's point because I do see where she was coming from with those statements. But for every story of Anakin's fall because of those attachments, you have a success story like Luke as well. Mando says that he'll help Ahsoka with her problems with the Magistrate if she agrees to train Baby Yoda. So this is where Ahsoka leads an assault on the walled-off city, and you see some real Jedi action, which is something that's kind of been missing, especially with the sequel trilogy that didn't handle all that very well. So it was kind of nice just to see Jedi doing Jedi things. Ahsoka eventually confronts the Magistrate and asks where her master is. Michael Biehn is actually the lead guard for the Magistrate, and I don't know why it took me this late in the episode to realize it, but it's always great to see Michael Biehn in anything. Anyway, he has an old-school Western standoff with Mando as Ahsoka is confronting the Magistrate. I noticed a few times, especially in this episode, but it's pretty much been through the whole series, that the dialogue has been a bit choppy and a bit awkward, especially when Michael Biehn is talking to Mando when he talks about who do you think is going to win. It could be my side, it could be your side. I don't know, it came off very forced and very awkward to me. Let me know if you felt the same way in the comments down below. So Ahsoka disarms the Magistrate and Mando kills Michael Biehn, and this is where Ahsoka asks her about Thrawn and all those EU questions come about. This is where Ahsoka gives Mando the staff that a Mandalorian should should have anyway. It was kind of interesting seeing a Jedi and a Mandalorian team up for common interests considering their history, even though Mando has no knowledge of that history. So Mando goes to get Grogu, presumably to leave him with Ahsoka so she can train him. But Ahsoka expresses again how she doesn't want to train him, and it appears that another one of Mando's propositions has fallen through. Ahsoka tells Mando to take Grogu to an ancient Jedi temple that will hopefully awaken the Force in him and will also summon other Jedi to his location. She does also go through the trouble of telling him there aren't many Jedi left. Now my issue with this is if she doesn't want to train him because of his connections to Mando, why would any other Jedi want to train him? Any other Jedi is going to give him the exact same response because they will most likely sense it in him as well. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me and seems like a plot device so the show can continue. My other question is they really going to try to bring Luke into this story? It would seem highly likely that Luke, being one of the most powerful Jedi, would sense Grogu if he is placed at the temple, if Ahsoka's assumptions are correct. I wouldn't put it past Disney to try to somehow shoehorn a younger Luke into this story. Not exactly sure how they're going to pull it off, but it's definitely something that would get people talking, and I know that's what they're looking for. It's definitely something we should probably keep our eye on moving forward. So this episode was again framed as another adventure of the week, but it did manage to introduce some new characters and new ideas, as well as trying to expand on the world a little bit and give us a little bit more background on what's been going on in the galaxy since the Empire fell. Overall, again, I didn't hate this episode. There are still many issues with The Mandalorian, and I'm not going to act like there isn't. But let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.